Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Abam. We're continuing in Mishna Berura. Daf Hashavua, we're learning Siman Kuf Chaf Ches Seif Hey. Siman Kuf Chaf Ches Seif Hey. Here we go. Hold on to your shoes, okay? Hold on to your socks. Lo yalu ha-kohanim laduchen b'minalim. You see, only Yisraelim have to hold on to their shoes, but Kohanim are not allowed to wear shoes when they duchen. Okay? Avo bebate shekayim shari, they can wear socks. V'yesh machmirin imheim shel ar, there are those who are machmir, the socks are leather socks, not to wear it for duchening. V'nagul hakal b'ksasim kaimes, the minhag gets to be lenient in some places. So, what is wrong with wearing shoes when you duchen? What could possibly be wrong with wearing shoes when you duchen? Says the Mishna Berura, this halacha of not wearing shoes comes from the Gemara Rosh Hashanah Daf Lamed Aleph. B'minalim. The problem is Shema yipasek loy ritzua. Maybe the strap will snap. Ugnayhu loy. And it's going to be embarrassing. Umisloitzitzim alav. Kishasandoloi mutaras. And they're going to mock you when your shoe is untied. V'yiksherena, you're going to tie it while everyone else is making Birchas Kohanim. V'yoimru, and they're going to say Shaben Grusha Ben Chalutzahu. They're going to say that you are of tainted lineage. Ulefikach halach v'yashav lai. That's why you did not duchen. So basically, you don't want to have shoes with shoelaces. Why? Because your shoelace might snap, and you're going to be busy tying it. You can get caught up while all the other Kohanim are duchening, and therefore, people are going to talk about your lineage, and you're going to be in big trouble. So you'll say, "I'm moichal." I don't care if they talk. Your family does not belong to you. As much as you think that you are the owner of the people in your family, you are not the owner. You are the custodian. You have no bias over them. Therefore, you cannot be moichal. Okay. Now, so you say, but I wear slip-ons. I haven't had shoelaces since the second grade. Even shoes that don't have straps are asr because of loy plug. You want to hide the shoes so they're not open. You don't want the shul to start looking like a shoe store, because you're going to have the guys that during Birchas Kohanim, they're going to start trying them on, different sizes, they're going to be busy with them. No, you don't want them to be seen. You remove them before you have your hands washed. If you're able to remove them after washing your hands, without touching them, you can remove them after washing your hands. What is a shliach tzibur who's a kohen who wants to make a bracha in the middle of chazos hashatz and he didn't take off his shoes before? Says Rav Shlomo Zalman, he duchens with his shoes on. Okay. Sivkatan Tezain. But socks, you could wear socks. Avabate Shakayim. Hu Minalim Arukim Hamagim Adar Kubois Haragal. These are long shoes that reach the ankle. Hainu Samach Lashuk. Meaning to the joint of the foot, which is near the thigh. Basically, these are stockings. Men's stockings. Vishari. Deleka hacha taimahanal. Stockings don't have laces. They never have laces. Therefore, it's mutter. Sometimes there are laces up by the knee. No, we're not afraid you're going to tie them. Because even if they're untied, it's not so embarrassing. It is not so embarrassing. So you could continue to wear stockings, or let's say you're wearing a Superman costume or a superhero costume, and part of your getup is, wearing those stockings or long socks. You're allowed to wear that. So the kohen takes off his shoes, he doesn't take off his socks. However, there are those are machmer if the socks are leather. Why? Because if they're leather, then they have a din of shoes. So if the stockings are leather, they have a din of shoes. Taimam de bechlal sandal minalhem v'loy plug rabbanan bein yesh ritzuos ubein ein ritzuos. Once they're leather, they're like shoes, and once they're like shoes, loy plug, and you can't wear them. Kamakam bevate shekayim imichnasayim biyachad shemagiyim ad atzileim. If you have stockings with pants, it's one outfit, and the stockings are leather, and they reach all the way up to your flanks, that's permitted because that's not a shoe. That was never included in the Gzer. Does not have a Gzer klal. V'chein batei shoykayim shel beged. If you have socks of cloth, av shemechupa or even if they're coated with leather, shari afladeyazu. The minog is to be lenient regarding leather socks. Our socks, shekarin shtivel, shegin lech be'em bashuk batit. That people even go out into the market in the dirt. So our batei shekayim, so what is he referring to? Is he talking about regular socks? I think he's talking about, on the bottom, it translates shtivel. Anybody know what shtivel are?
Shtivel are boots.
Good. He says magafayim. I guess some kind of galoshes that they would throw over the shoe, right? Some kind of coating of the shoe. So then, and you go outside in the dirt, you should not leave on because of kavrat tzibor. According to this, gam b'min olam shalgemi shalana shekarin kalasin. Gam kein enachan mitam zeh. So basically, if it's something that is getting very dirty, you should not have it on for Birchas Kohanim. So that means, what about our socks that you don't go out in the shuk? So the Panim Meiros and the Ben Ish Chai says you do not duchen in them. I'm sorry. Na'olei bayis, are slippers. Slippers. Could you duchen in slippers? You see, you have these guys come into shul with like this leathery half slipper that has fur on the inside. Who this guy thinks he is, not sure. He must be very, very important. That's for sure. But could you duchen in these slippers? I don't think you should be caught alive in those slippers. But are you allowed to duchen in them? So the Ben Ish Chai says, no. Rosh Shlomo Zalman says, me'ikar adin, you can. You should be machmer. Because Kale Hadas will come to allow shoes. Okay. The Achronim say it's not correct to duchen completely barefoot. Shudarch genai. It is disparaging. You don't walk barefoot in front of important people. However, Moshe says if a kohen duchens barefoot, we don't remove him. Eliyesh leilech bifuz mekai shal beged. Should wear some kind of sock. V'chein haminog. That is a minhag. But what if it's like this groovy pair of socks? You ever see, like, nowadays, these teenagers, they have very neon-colored socks, and it's going to grab attention. But Moshe says, you could duchen in them. We're not worried about hesach hadas, and that's the minhag. So l'maisa, socks, you have to wear. Shoes, you're not allowed to wear. Boots and galoshes, Einoi nachain. Slippers, meyikar did mutter, but you should be machmer. But during a Mishnah Berura, you should wear your shoes. Okay. Have a good day, everyone. Hatzlacha. Kol tov.